In this video, we're sitting down in front of the computer. We're going to show you how to add users to the ELITE DataSystems. All right, what's up? We've got the ELITE DataSystems installed. We did that in our last video, and in this video, we're going to add some users. So I'm going to walk you through that. There's two ways to do it. There's a manual way and then a bulk import. So, all right. What we have here is we have a blank user table. This is what you're going to open up into the app. We're going to navigate over to the right-hand side. We're going to have a bunch of tabs. We're going to go to the user add edit. Now we got a handful of fields here. Now, the important thing is to understand the difference between the user ID and the test ID. The user ID is really like an internal employee number. The test ID is what you're going to use to link the ID of your badge to your username, and that's going to enable a test. So that's how that works. Pretty simple. So we're going to start out by adding a user manually. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add myself to the system. User ID 123. I'm going to give myself a test ID of 1010. Again, that's the badge that we decoded in the badge decoding video, and that's going to link my test ID to my user profile here. All right, so last name, put that in. First name, Keith. Email address. I'm going to put my email in here. And we're going to set a test requirement. Now you're going to get a handful of test choices that you can select from. And, if you don't have the smock feature enabled, you won't see the smock stuff. You can turn that on. But right now I'm going to set myself for a wrist test. Now the retest frequency, this is something that shows up later for reporting and things like that. We'll get into that in another video. All right, perfect. I got all my user fields filled out. I'm just going to simply add myself to the system by clicking add down at the bottom. Here we go. We're in here. Now we have some blank fields. Let's get some of that stuff filled out. I'm going to add a department here. I'm going to call this department assembly. I'm going to add it to the system. I'm going to select it. I'm going to select my user, and I'm going to hit update user. Right up here under the department, now we can see assembly has been added. I'm also going to come in. I'm going to add a supervisor. I'm going to add Bob into the system here. Add, again, select. And then I'm going to select my user. I'm going to update. Now you can see I've got a supervisor and a department. Perfect. Now, one thing you might want to do is you might want to add a shift. So down at the bottom, you can name this shift. I'm going to call it the morning shift. And I'm going to set that for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So for the normal work week, I'm going to set a start time on that for 7 a.m. I'm going to set an end time for 4. I'm going to add that right in. Again, I'm going to select it. Then I'm going to select my user. I'm going to update that user. You can see now that I have a shift. Perfect. Really, really simple. Some of these other features in here, like PTO, insert, those are part of enterprise. There are features that come into play when you are doing some data reporting. And again, we'll go over that in the reporting video. So we just added our user in manually. So let's go over a bulk import. So we're going to navigate up to edit. We're going to go to user, and we're going to create the user import template. I've already got one made, so I'm just going to make a second one here. User import template 2. I'm going to save that. Now you need Excel for this to work, and it should automatically open up. Now I've got my template. Perfect. Now we're going to fill this information in. I'm going to use Google Docs because I'm a little bit more proficient in this, so I'm going to navigate over there. You can see that I have my template imported into Google Spreadsheets. I also have another tab here that contains all of my raw user data. This is my raw employee database. This is going to come from maybe your HR department or your secure system. Now I've got data validation set for a few of these columns right here in the user ID and test ID fields. I'm looking for any duplicates, and if I see any duplicates, the spreadsheet's going to highlight those in red. On the last name and first name fields, very similar. Not looking for duplicates here, but what I'm looking for is any special characters, things like hyphens, apostrophes, letter accents. We want to make sure that we remove that from our data, get it nice and clean. So just to give you an example, or show you an example here, is I have some IDs in this that actually have hyphens in them. So I'm going to search this sheet for anything with a hyphen, and we'll see that those are going to pop up. I got a few of them, so I'm just going to hit replace all, get that data nice and clean. It's done. You can see down here, Winston-Salem no longer has a hyphen in it. Now I'm going to navigate over to my import template that I brought in here. Now I'm going to run a query on this. I've already set it up. This is going to pull in all of my users from that user table. It's all ready. It's all good to go. This data is all clean. There's no duplicates. There's no special characters in here. So I'm going to re-download this as a CSV. Perfect, right here. We're going to show that. Here it is. It exists under the C drive. Now I'm going to navigate over back into the ELITE DataSystems. Now we're going to do a bulk import. We're going to go back up to edit. We're going to go to user. We're going to import the user table. Now I'm going to navigate over here into my documents. I've got my user table right here. And I am going to import this. I'm going to click yes through this. As you can see, super quick import. Here you go. We now have 1,499 users into this system. Really, really simple, very easy. You're all set up and good to go. Hey, thanks for checking us out. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. Let us know in the comments what else we can do and how we can help you learn more about what it is that we do.